Good Monday, Cup of Sales Joe. Talk about coming right out of the gate, huh? This song definitely does that. If you're not familiar, It's in the Way That You Use It by none other than Eric Clapton. It was originally released on his August album, which was named after the month that his son Connor was born in 1986. And this song in particular was made popular when it was used in the Tom Cruise and Paul Newman film, The Color of Money. I always liked this song as a longtime fan of Eric Clapton. It was a nice mix of his bluesy riffs with 80s pop sensibilities and a bit of rock. Also, given that for this album and subsequent tours, he put together a virtual super band, including Phil Collins on drums, Nathan East on bass, and Greg Fellinganes on keyboards. So, while this song is the musical inspiration today, I do have a musical bonus for you at the end of this message, where Eric Clapton and the King of Pop and Korean music come together to great effect. So, hold on for that surprise. But for now, let's dig into the meaning behind this song. So don't you ever lose it. Don't let it go. On the surface, this song, which was used in the movie, showcases Tom Cruise's natural talent in pool, billiards, tempered with Paul Newman's experience and wisdom. It was all about channeling his talent to create opportunities. This implies that it isn't about our talent, but in how and where we deploy it. You may be the greatest poet, or a salesperson, or a marketer, but if your skills aren't put to the right use, then the world is poorer for it. How do you use your talents, your skills, and your experience? Where could they be of great usefulness, but maybe you aren't using them right now? Or maybe a better question, what talents are you not using in your current situation that you could? Perhaps your creativity, your enthusiasm. The more we can utilize our innate and also their developed skills, the more fulfillment you'll find in your work. So don't you ever use it. Don't let it go. Hey, Cup of Sales Joe, it's Scott. Hey, do you drink coffee? Do you like coffee? Or do you love coffee? Me? I'm all three. And in fact, it wasn't until I met Sam, the owner of Mad Goat Coffee, that I became such a fanatic for good coffee. In fact, great coffee. So, if you are interested in trying something new, trying something different, or just trying the best, I invite you to visit madgoatcoffee.com. Check out the apparel with their cool logo, check out the new roasts that they have, or anything else that could entice you to become a Mad Goat fan like I am. And in fact, if you find something you like, when you go to order, fill out discount code CSJ, and Sam allows me to give you a 10% discount. So, madgoatcoffee.com. Find something you love, or even something you just want to try. And when you're checking out, discount code CSJ, save yourself 10%. I also think this idea, it's in the way that you use it, can be used in terms of working with what is thrown at us. Potentially the original idea for this song. What challenges you face, you may not fully anticipate or understand. But as long as you use your skill and you are you utilize your unique skills, then you will find yourself succeeding. Something else to think about. It's in the way you use what is truly yours. Eric Clapton, for example, has moved from psychedelic rock of the 60s to classic rock of the 70s to modern rock of the 80s and then the acoustic wave of the 90s. You may remember Layla and Tears in Heaven. He's also even moved on to the music of today. but he always retained his blues roots. You can hear it even in this song. The solo, taken by itself, is blues through and through. You can hear his style in virtually everything he plays. I guess you could say he has a very strong personal brand. What is and how do you promote your own personal brand in everything you do? How does someone else know that something you did is yours? How do you leave your mark on your work? Now, if you've lasted this long and you're still listening, I want to deliver on my promise I made at the beginning. Like most albums I've owned, I typically heard one song before everything was on demand and available immediately, which prompted me to buy it. And then I would dig into the rest of the album with great curiosity. Sometimes, as most of you know, the one song I heard was the only good song on the album. Others, like many of Eric Clapton's, had many gems on them, and even were the kind of album where you could listen from start to finish without finding a bad song you wanted to skip. Such was the case with this album, August. Many great songs, perhaps a bit more synthesizer-led than a normal Clapton album. It was the 80s after all. But one song in particular caught my ear when I first heard this album, and it really highlights Phil Collins' drumming. He put his signature on this album just like Eric Clapton did, and especially in this song. Can you hear the drumming? Definitely Phil Collins. The song is called Behind the Mask, and it's a bit of a departure for Clapton, being very upbeat, not bluesy at all, and a lot of drum and synth work. Clapton does add his classic touch to it, but it was different enough that I started to research it, and I found two surprises when I looked into it. First, I was not surprised to hear that Michael Jackson, of all people, wrote the lyrics and added some of the melodies. Nothing better to give some pop credence to Slowhand than the king of pop. So this may have been the only evidence that Michael and Eric ever collaborated. Rumor has it that Michael actually recorded this song, his version of it, for the Thriller album, but it never made it on. But even stranger is the origin of the very song they put together. It was not an original composition. If you can hear the vocoded lyrics and the amount of keyboards, it won't come as any surprise that this originated as a song written by Japanese electronic group Yellow Magic Orchestra in the late 70s. In fact, the original writers both passed in 2023. But if you hear the original, you can see why Clapton and Jackson were interested in making it their own. In fact, Clapton even gives homage to the original with a little bit of their touch. So, it's all in how you use it. Whether it's your own talents, what comes at you, or even something you find that you can put your own signature on. Take pride in and highlight your skills that make you you. I mean, if Eric Clapton can turn this into this, then then how can this week you take what you find and make it uniquely yours? Have a great week.